There is, a profound metaphor for the journey into higher consciousness that we can borrow from the world of medicine, the experience of waking up from anesthesia. When a patient is under its influence, the body can undergo significant procedures without registering a single sensation of pain. There is a deep, dreamless quiet where discomfort just cannot find a foothold. But as the anesthesia begins to wear off, the first stirrings of awareness are often accompanied by an acute and sometimes overwhelming return of feeling. The very pain that was held at bay now announces itself with startling clarity. This is not a sign that something has gone wrong. It is, in fact, a sign that the body is waking up, that its systems are coming back online. This same process unfolds on an emotional and spiritual level as we begin to awaken in our own lives. For years, many of us live in a state of subtle unconsciousness, numbing ourselves to the deeper currents of our inner world. We use distraction, busyness, and ingrained habits as a form of emotional anesthesia, allowing us to navigate life without fully confronting old wounds, limiting beliefs, or honestly, the quiet ache of unfulfilled longings. We function, often quite successfully, but we are not fully present. The moment we decide to become more aware, to truly feel our feelings and see our thoughts, is the moment the anesthesia begins to fade. The initial result of this awakening can feel intensely painful. Suddenly, the background noise of anxiety becomes a clear and persistent hum. The sadness we have carried since childhood no longer feels like a distant memory, but a present reality living in our cells. We might become acutely aware of the ways we have compromised our values, the relationships that drain our energy, or the societal pains we previously managed to ignore. This surge of sensation can be disorienting, leading many to believe that their journey toward healing is actually making them worse. They may feel broken, flawed, or as if they are regressing, when in truth, they are simply beginning to feel what was there all along. This experience is a universal and necessary stage of growth. Feeling more is the first tangible evidence that you are becoming more conscious. It is the brave and tender return to the fullness of your own human experience, with all its textures of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. It is not a step backward, but the first courageous step into the landscape of your own heart. The increased sensitivity is not a wound, it is the reopening of a pathway to genuine healing, a sign that you are finally present enough to attend to what needs your care. This is the sacred and sometimes aching dawn of true presence. As our consciousness expands, it is as if we are handed an invisible atlas that maps the entire terrain of our inner being, revealing landscapes we never knew existed. Before this awakening, our awareness might have been confined to a small, well-trodden village of familiar thoughts and emotions. We knew the main streets of happiness, the back alleys of frustration, and the town square of daily routines. But beyond the borders of this known world lay vast, unexplored territories. The forgotten forests of childhood memory, the deep canyons of ancestral trauma, and the arid deserts of our deepest fears. These places were always part of us, shaping our lives from the shadows, but they remained off the map of our conscious mind. Raising our awareness is the act of unfolding this complete map for the first time. The light of consciousness begins to illuminate these hidden regions, and what we find there can be, well, staggering. We discover the subtle, pervasive beliefs that have quietly governed our choices for decades. Beliefs like, I am not worthy of love, or I must always be perfect to be safe. We unearth the emotional residue of past hurts, moments of shame or abandonment that we thought were long gone, but have instead been stored deep within our nervous system. This is not merely an intellectual discovery, it is a felt, embodied experience. The pain of these old wounds becomes palpable, as if the events that caused them happened only yesterday. This process also makes us exquisitely sensitive to the world around us. The subtle discord in a loved one's voice, the collective anxiety humming through the news, or the quiet suffering of a stranger can begin to register with an intensity that was previously filtered out. It can feel as if our skin has become more permeable, allowing the joys and sorrows of the world to flow in more freely. This heightened empathy, while a hallmark of a compassionate heart, can feel profoundly overwhelming at first. It is as if we have been listening to life through a thick wall, and suddenly that wall has dissolved, leaving us standing in the full, unfiltered symphony of human experience. It is crucial to understand that this uncovering is not an act of self-inflicted harm, but an act of profound self-reclamation. You are not creating this pain, you are finally finding the courage to witness it. These hidden aspects of yourself have been exerting their influence all along, driving unconscious behaviors and perpetuating cycles of suffering. By bringing them into the light of awareness, you are reclaiming your power to engage with them consciously. You are moving from being a passive subject of your history to becoming an active participant in your own healing, armed with the new and clarifying light of your own attention. Herein lies the central paradox of the awakening journey. The very consciousness that reveals our deepest pain is also the source of our greatest strength to heal it. It seems counterintuitive that the path to feeling better requires us to feel more, and often to feel worse first. We are conditioned to believe that strength means being impervious to pain, to build walls so high that nothing can hurt us. Yet true spiritual and emotional resilience is not found in building higher defenses, but in cultivating a capacity to be with discomfort in a new way. Higher consciousness does not give you an escape from your pain. It gives you a seat from which to witness it without being consumed by it. This newfound power does not manifest as a hardened shield, but as a soft, spacious, and unwavering presence. Before, when a wave of sadness or anger arose, our instinct was to be swept away by it, to become the storm itself. But with expanded awareness, we learn to become the sky that holds the storm. We can observe the dark clouds of thought and the lightning flashes of emotion as they move through us, without identifying ourselves as the weather. This ability to witness our inner state without judgment creates a crucial space between stimulus and response. In that space lies our freedom, the freedom to choose how we relate to our own experience. This shift transforms our relationship with suffering. Pain is no longer a verdict that declares us broken or a sentence to be endured indefinitely. Instead, it becomes a signal, a messenger from the deeper parts of ourselves asking for attention. It is a guidepost pointing directly to the places that need healing, compassion, and release. A higher state of awareness allows us to approach these signals with curiosity rather than fear. We can ask, what is this feeling here to teach me? Or what does this wounded part of me need right now? This gentle inquiry is an act of profound self-love and is the catalyst for genuine transformation. Therefore, the increased pain felt during awakening is not a measure of your fragility, but a testament to your expanding capacity. You are feeling more because you are capable of feeling more. You are strong enough now to hold what was previously unbearable, to sit with the discomfort long enough for it to share its wisdom and, eventually, to release its grip. The pain and the power to heal from it arrive together, hand in hand. One does not precede the other. They are two faces of the same coin, and that coin is the precious currency of your own awakening consciousness. The transformative journey from pain to peace is not just a philosophical concept. It is a tangible process mirrored in the very architecture of our brains. Modern neuroscience is beginning to map what mystics and meditators have known for centuries, that practices designed to raise consciousness physically reshape the brain to better process distress. When we engage in disciplines like mindfulness, meditation, and breathwork, we are not just calming our minds for a few moments. We are actively participating in neural repatterning that fundamentally alters our relationship with pain and suffering. One of the most significant changes occurs in the brain's default mode network, a collection of brain regions active when our minds are wandering, ruminating about the past, or worrying about the future. The DMN is the neurological home of the narrative self, the storyteller in our head that creates suffering about our suffering. For instance, the physical sensation of a tight chest becomes a story. I'm having anxiety, I can't handle this, something is wrong with me. Mindfulness practices have been shown to quiet the DMN, particularly a key hub called the posterior cingulate cortex. This quieting doesn't eliminate the initial pain, but it reduces the secondary layer of mental anguish we pile on top of it. At the same time, practices like focused attention meditation strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive center responsible for emotional regulation, impulse control, and wise decision-making. A stronger prefrontal cortex acts like a compassionate parent to the more reactive parts of the brain, such as the amygdala, which is our primal fear center. When a painful emotion or memory is triggered, a well-trained prefrontal cortex can soothe the amygdala's alarm bells, allowing us to respond with presence and clarity rather than instinctual panic or avoidance. This is the neurological basis for choosing to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. Furthermore, the parietal lobe, which helps construct our sense of self, is also profoundly affected by these practices. In deep states of meditation, activity in the parietal lobe decreases, leading to experiences of unity, oneness, and dissolving ego boundaries. This helps us depersonalize our pain, to see it not as my pain but simply as pain, an impersonal energy moving through consciousness. This shift in perspective provides immense relief, as our suffering is no longer a personal flaw, but part of the shared human condition. Every time a difficult feeling or painful memory arises, we stand at a crossroads with two distinct paths before us. The first is the well-worn path of avoidance. It is a seemingly logical route, promising immediate relief from discomfort. When pain surfaces, our instinct is to push it away, numb it with distraction, or suppress it with sheer willpower. This avoidance creates a temporary illusion of peace, a fleeting moment of respite. However, what we resist persists. The avoided emotion doesn't disappear. It simply goes underground, gathering strength and intensity in the shadows of our psyche, waiting for its next opportunity to erupt. This creates a self-perpetuating cycle of suffering. It begins with the initial pain, which leads to the discomfort of feeling it. This discomfort triggers the conditioned response of avoidance, be it through scrolling on a phone, overworking, or indulging in a substance. The avoidance provides a short-term sense of relief, which reinforces the belief that avoidance is an effective strategy. But because the underlying emotion was never processed, it returns later, often amplified and more insistent than before. This leads to even greater discomfort and a more desperate need for avoidance, trapping us in a downward spiral where we spend more and more energy trying to outrun our own inner world. The second path is the path of awareness. This path may seem more daunting at first, as it asks us to turn toward our pain rather than away from it. It invites us to meet our discomfort with presence, curiosity, and compassion. Instead of pushing the feeling away, we allow it to be there, creating a space for it to exist without judgment. We breathe into the sensation, notice where it lives in our body, and simply witness it as it ebbs and flows. This courageous act of staying present interrupts the reactive cycle of avoidance and begins a new healing cycle. This awareness cycle transforms our experience entirely. The initial pain arises, and instead of leading to automatic avoidance, it is met with conscious presence. This presence allows for genuine emotional processing to occur. By feeling the emotion fully and safely, we allow its energy to move through and out of our system, rather than becoming trapped within us. This leads not just to temporary relief, but to lasting release and profound growth. Each time we choose the path of awareness, we build our capacity for resilience, deepen our self-trust, and pave a road not to a life without pain, but to a life where pain no longer holds power over us. Embracing this journey of awakening does not require a monumental leap into the fire of all your pain at once. It is a gentle art, a practice of turning toward yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. The path forward is paved with small, consistent, and compassionate steps. One of the most accessible starting points is simply connecting with your breath. The breath is your anchor to the present moment, a constant and reliable rhythm that can hold you steady when the seas of emotion feel turbulent. Taking just 3 conscious breaths can be a powerful act of returning home to yourself. Cultivating a practice of mindfulness is another foundational support. This doesn't necessarily mean sitting in silent meditation for an hour every day. It can be as simple as bringing your full attention to a daily activity. Feel the warmth of the water as you wash the dishes, savor the taste and texture of your morning coffee, or notice the sensation of your feet on the ground as you walk. These moments of embodied presence are like small deposits into your account of awareness, gradually building a wealth of inner stability and peace that you can draw upon when challenges arise. Self-compassion is the gentle hand that guides you along this path, reminding you that it is okay to be exactly where you are. As you become more present, it is also vital to seek out community. Awakening can feel isolating, but you are not alone on this path. Connecting with others who are also committed to conscious living provides validation, encouragement, and a shared sense of purpose. Whether it is a meditation group, a yoga class, or a circle of trusted friends, community reminds us that our personal healing is interwoven with the healing of the whole. Sharing our experiences demystifies the process and reinforces the truth that feeling overwhelmed is a normal and temporary part of the journey toward greater freedom. So if you find yourself feeling more acutely than ever before, take heart. This heightened sensitivity is not a sign of failure but a profound indication of your growth. You are waking up. The pain you feel is the thawing of a heart that is coming back to life, and the tears you may shed are watering the seeds of a more authentic and liberated you. Be gentle with yourself. Take the next small step. Breathe. turn your attention inward with loving kindness. The path of healing is not about becoming someone new, but about finally, fully, and freely becoming the person you have always been.